Hello, phenomenal women of God. This is LaDondra Hervey, your soul alignment business coach, and I am coming to you today to talk about a topic that I hear a lot of times from my clients that I coach with and from different people who are in business. And that question is, how do I increase sales conversions? Now, that is a hot topic, and it's something that needs to be addressed in order to be successful in business. I want to make sure that we are good before I proceed, that I can see me on here. Yep, we're good. So I'm going to continue on. So for those of you, just so you know, I am a soul alignment business coach. I help women entrepreneurs of faith to start and grow their business. And through their faith, I help them to accomplish more than they thought possible. Now, for those of you who want me to see your comments as we go along with these power tips, you'd need to grant StreamYard your permission so that I may be able to see you, and we will go from there. And so anyway, let's go ahead and proceed and dive into the content. Hi, Caleb. So glad that you have joined. So again, we're talking about how to increase sales conversions. So one of the things, as I am drilling down into this topic, that I want to start with is what does it even mean to convert? What is conversions? What is to convert? Because before you can go in any direction to really move your business forward, you really need to drill down to the meaning of what it is that you are striving to do. And so I went into the dictionary and I looked it up, and it says to bring over one belief or view from another. So how does that relate to you making conversions and sales in your business? Well, it relates to everything that you do, because in order for you to have move a person from just cold to becoming a buyer, they're going to have to convert. They're going to need to be converted, right? And the way to convert is to connect. So some of the tips that I'm going to share with you today is exactly that. You're going to need to learn how to deeply connect with your ideal audience. One of the things is in doing that, they're going to have buy-in. In order for your audience to have buy-in, there's some things that's going to start with you. The sale begins and it ends with you. Okay. And so one of the tips that I have to provide for you, and I'd love for you to take notes on this, is what are your beliefs about your product? So before you can convert somebody in their beliefs about your product, you have to assess what are your beliefs about your product. Yes, you started it. Yes, it's your business. But what I've found is so many business owners, they're going into their business and they don't really believe in what it is that they are offering. They have a lot of white noise that's going on behind their head, and they're comparing their business to their competition. They're looking outside of themselves. They are diminishing their sweet spot. They're diminishing the power and the purpose that they bring to the table. And so how does that affect the conversion? Well, it affects everything, because it affects how you show up in the market in presenting your product. It affects how you intellectually connect with your market and emotionally connect with your market. And so if your market is not connecting with you from an intellectual and emotional standpoint, then you're not going to convert them into a buyer, or you're not going to connect with them. So you're going to have to do the necessary things to gain that connection with your ideal audience before they can even become sold on it. So that's going to be you shutting down the noise and really getting in connection with, why are you in business? Who is it that you are truly deeply aligned to serve, and how do they want to be served? Which brings me to my next point when we're talking about this, because when we're thinking about this, and we're talking about you being aligned with your beliefs about your products and services, one of the things that gives us great evidence in knowing if you're truly aligned with your product and your services is how you are consistently showing up in the marketplace with your actions. So if you're showing up in the marketplace with aligned actions that's truly connecting with your audience, then that's really going to move that audience from prospect and to buyer. So, and one of the ways in doing that is you really having enough activity to generate those sales. A lot of times we think we're doing a lot, but we don't have enough engaged activities that's connecting with our audience. We're doing the things that we think we should be doing instead of the things that truly resonate with our ideal buyer. So point number 2 is, what are other people's thoughts and beliefs about your product and service? Because of what people think about your product and your service is going to be truly the thing that moves them from cold to close. So if they don't have a positive perspective about what it is, your product or your service, then they're not going to become a buyer, they're not going to become a follower or anything in between. So a lot of times what I've noticed is that people are just putting things out there with a hope that, okay, they're going to buy this. It's pretty to them. It makes sense to them, but they haven't did that true, deeply aligned market research that they need to truly connect with their ideal audience. And so part of doing that is you truly doing that research and connecting with them, their most urgent need. What is their most urgent need that's going to move them from not buying and making that purchase to actually making a transaction with you? Because at this point, it's not about you and what you want for them, it's what they are wanting, what's going to move them into action. And so you need to truly understand this and speak from their perspective and speak from their standpoint. So this is where that market research really truly comes into place. And you can do that market research doing things like polls. You can do focus groups. You can do things like reaching out and making connection calls. I don't call them sales calls. You can do connection calls to really see what people are really trying, what are people really needing, and how do they need what they need. Because sometimes what you think they need is not always what they really want, and how and they want it to be positioned that way. So those are going to be some really important things, because connection is key into moving people from cold to close. It's not about how much action you're doing, it's about how connected you are. It takes 16 touch points to make one sale. That is the statistics. So how are you working those statistics and moving them from cold to close and making those 16 touch points? Okay. So you really need to get an agreement and an alignment with that and what that looks like for you. And touch points can be anything from you sending them DM messages. It can be you sending thank you cards. It can be you making a phone call. It can be you sending them valuable information that, through your newsletter. Those are all things that's going to move people from a position of non-buyer to buyer. And they're going to start to feel a lot more connected to you. And those 16 touch points, those are things that are not necessarily related to a sale. This is you connecting to them first. And then as you connect to them, they connect back with you, and then they want to reciprocate that. And then it makes them more likely to want to get to know you a little bit more, what you have to offer. And then you go ahead and move them into a place and a position of buyer. So those are just a couple of things that I wanted to stop by and bring to you in moving your customers from a place of non-buyer to buyer, so that you can make those conversions. So as we're thinking back, as I do a quick recap here, I want to just say, first of all, it starts with your personal mindset and your personal beliefs and what you believe about your product. Are you being a product of the product? And is your beliefs aligning with what you truly feel like is going to be the transformation for your client or potential buyer, because you can't allow the white noise in the background and your competitors noise and all the things to stop you from really connecting with your audience and stop you from connecting with the activities that truly move you to a place where your audience want to do business with you. So that's tip number one. Assess your own beliefs about your products and services. And then number two is, what are other people's thoughts and beliefs about your product and service? And I went over all the tips there. So if you didn't catch those, go back, listen to this replay. I truly believe that there is, despite all the noise that's going on, despite all the things that's happening with in the world, there's still a lot of opportunities for you to show up and serve. But the golden thing here is going to be how you show up and you connect in an aligned way, not what other people is telling you to do, but what your audience is asking from you. That is where you're going to truly make those aligned connections, where you're able to move them from non-buyer to buyer. You're going to get that know, like, and trust factor built up, and then you can move them through your pipeline of building trust with the 16 touch points. And there's several ways in doing that. So I pray that this has been a blessing to you. And I'll be coming back to you and providing you some value. For those of you who have really enjoyed this and you want to go deeper, I will be offering an Actualize Your Profit Potential Masterclass that is going to be coming up. It's going to be coming up in the August the 17th. That is going to be 5 days of live content that I'll be coming to you, bringing it to you so that you will be able to actualize your profit potential and create profit with purpose. So no longer are you going to be disconnected from your product or your service, but then you will have a plan so that you can create profit with purpose. I'll place that link off into the chat. All you have to do is click the link and get registered for that, and then you'll be done. I'll send you a workbook, and then we'll move forward from there. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing y'all, and y'all have a blessed day, and talk to you soon. For those of you who are in this Actualized Profit Potential Masterclass, if you have not got with your team already, go ahead and get with your team so that we can get you your workbook. And if you have any questions leading up to the Masterclass, just let me know. For those of you who have not registered, just click the link, follow the instructions, and then you'll get right in. All right. Y'all have a blessed day. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.